This is the time of year I typically love to go camping. Each night, we build a huge fire and everyone gathers around it. We love to roast marshmallows, just stare into the fire and fellowship. But one by one, each person tends to go off and go to bed. At sunrise, I like to be the first one up to go back out and get the fire started. When I go to where the fire was, it's usually just a pile of coals or embers that are still just there, staying warm. What I've found is if I add just a little bit of tinder or kindling and fan the flame just a little bit, I can get the fire started with no matches. It reminds me of the words of Paul in 2 Timothy 1:6. He wrote, "That is why I would remind you to stir up, rekindle the embers of, fan the flame of, and keep burning the gracious gift of God, the inner fire that is in you by means of the laying on of my hands with those of the elders at your ordination." Each one of us as believers have a fire of God inside of us, but over time it tends to die down. What Paul is telling us is to fan those flames, to blow on those embers, and to renew and rekindle that love for God. When we think of Christianity as a to-do list, or a list of things that we just check off to keep God happy, that fire inside us begins to die down. Just like any relationship, you can rekindle the spark or those embers by going back to doing the things that you did in the beginning, and that's dream about your relationship, to talk about the things that matter, and to focus on each other. That's the same way that you and I can rekindle our relationship with God, to rebuild the fire, and to fan those embers and to stir up the gift that God has placed inside of each one of us. So today, focus on those things and rekindle your fire with God so that it's hotter than ever and bigger than ever. Thanks for watching and following devutionsbychris.com to get your daily dose of encouragement from God's Word. I always appreciate it when you share this and other posts on your social media page.